Okay, before we start looking at how you use Mail Manager, we ought to first touch on what's it for. Where do all those messages go? Why is it going to be useful to you? And what are the implications of not using it? So what is Mail Manager for? Well, first of all, it's a plug-in to Outlook that helps you to file emails into folders that are relevant to the particular way you work. So it might be project based, or it may be based on customers. You might divide your life up that way, or business up that way. And it also helps you to then find those messages very quickly thereafter. Where do the messages go? Well, when you file them, you will typically have Mail Manager configured to file those messages into the same folders that you organize your other data. So a good example might be if you've got a particular customer folder, and in that customer folder you keep everything to do with the customer. There's reports, spreadsheets, presentations. Well, with Mail Manager you can put the emails in those same folders, and you might have organized your life by project, so you could store the emails along with the project. Now that has a number of important advantages. First of all, by filing your messages into these folders, which are a normal file system, you're taking them out of the email system. And in most companies you will find that people have a limit to the size of their inbox, and this is because it's costly keeping messages inside that system, and it can slow things down. In filing the messages out to a file system folder, you've made them accessible to everybody. If they stay in your inbox, although that's useful to you, others can't get to them. And if you're the key contact with a client and you're receiving these very important emails, and you then happen to be ill, on holiday, just not available, then those messages are inaccessible to others. They don't know that what's going on, and your client can be left wondering whether you really want his business or not. So putting things in a sensible place where everybody can get to it, or everybody that needs to get to it can get to it, is a very useful thing. Getting them into a place like that has other advantages too. So because everything to do with that customer or that project is in one place, when you choose to archive it, everything is then held together, and when you choose to restore it back for some reason, perhaps 5 years later on, again everything's together. Whereas previously you might have had to restore all of the documents and then go to your IT people and get them to restore emails. Now the question is, in that instance, what emails? Because if you've had a relationship with a particular customer for a while, and that's 5 years ago, you'd need to know who worked with that customer, and then you'd have to restore all of their emails, and you'd have to trawl through all of their emails to find the relevant ones. Now if you're in a litigious environment, which is fairly common for some people, especially the construction industry, then this is going to be a common thing that happens to you, and you'll want to be able to get to that evidence very, very, very quickly. And the sort of people who are going to be trawling through that evidence are expensive people, lawyers typically. So the quicker you can make it for everybody, the better. Having a quick way of searching things, though, doesn't just bring benefits when you're in this very uncomfortable situation of litigation. It helps you during your normal working day, and Mail Manager can be very beneficial there. And in fact, we did a customer survey at the end of 2011. We surveyed 1,237 of our customers, so those are customer organisations rather than individuals. And 333 responded, so we got about a 27% response rate, I should say. And there were various questions that we pulled out. So one thing was interesting: level of legal exposure. 71.3% of people said that their legal exposure was high to medium before they used Mail Manager, and dropped to 8.6 after adopting the software. People were deleting important emails, and 64.2% said they occasionally to very frequently deleted important emails, but after adopting Mail Manager that dropped to 10.4. And perhaps if you're seeing this from your own personal perspective, what difference is it going to make to me? Okay, this all saves the organisation, but what about me? Think about the time you spend each day. 91.8% said that they previously spent up to an hour a day just trying to find stuff. And in fact, those spending 2 hours or more, that figure was 34.1%, and it dropped after adopting Mail Manager to 0.9%. So Mail Manager makes it very quick for you to do that sort of thing. Now, what are the impacts of not filing? Well, they can be quite severe. So in the UK, the Data Protection Act of 1998 requires that if a business is asked to provide information for a case or by an employee even, they have to provide everything within 20 days. That can be really tough to get everything together within 20 days. In the States, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act is very severe on businesses that can't get to information, perhaps because they've deleted it, they destroyed it. There are heavy fines, and you can be imprisoned for up to 20 years. Microsoft themselves were ordered to pay $25 million because they failed to be able to produce email during an e-discovery process. And Best Buy, they pleaded with the court that it was going to cost them a six-figure sum to try and find the emails that the judge was asking for. He wasn't having anything of it and gave them 28 days to do that. So this ability to find information very quickly could save the business and could save you a lot of time.